All right, we're just gonna jump right into it. So I have to merge back onto traffic. So what I'm gonna do is open up the view. You learned this in the MSF. We're opening up the view. I see a car coming. See another car coming. I don't see anybody behind him. So I'm gonna keep double checking, because you never know if somebody's gonna go fast around that corner. All right, so now we're back on. So part one, I talked about going up that portion. So it was more of a high desert area. We're gonna be switching into more of a wooded and a lot of shades. Quite possibly gonna have some type of animals, who knows? I've seen deer on this road. I think I've seen bear. All right, so I gotta strap this in. Only did it on a straightaway. All right, so we got shade, we got cars coming. We got another motorcyclist coming. What's up, buddy? All right, so we got cars in front of us. That's actually kind of a good thing. So a lot of people do not like having cars in front of them. I like having cars in front of me, especially if they're going the speed limit. So I'm perfectly fine because I'm going the speed limit. Beautiful view. I'm going the speed limit because I don't want to get a ticket, and this road is designed this way for this speed. So having them in front of me, perfectly fine. I'm just gonna keep a nice space cushion, and hopefully they apply the brakes if they see anything. That way it gives me a heads up. All right, so blind turn, I don't know if they're braking. Okay, very good. So on these blind turns, you don't know if they're gonna stop. You don't know if there's something on the other side, and then they stop, and then you pretty much hit them. There you go, leaving the bike up. So right here we got a nice little squiggles. But we got a blind turn coming up, so I have no idea if this car is going to brake behind the blind curve. So I'm gonna take it nice and easy. It's another hazard. There we go, it's opened, very good. I can see all the way around. We got motorcyclists coming down on a, looks like an Indian. Good job getting an Indian. Anyways, blind turn. Got vegetation, got another rider. He's gonna come out because of the bushes in his way. So I kind of moved over. Got a blind turn, so I'm gonna take it nice and easy, open up this space cushion, very good. Now we got an open area. So we're gonna be going into more of the trees, like I talked about. We also got a park and pull out, so if you feel anxious, once again, you can pull over nice and easy. I talked about that in part one of going up the mountain safely. We also have a car behind me. There's dead animal. I thought that was a rock. It was a dead squirrel. If it was a rock, you kind of got to watch out. You don't want to hit a rock about, the size of this dash with your front tire on a turn. That's going to suck. Even going straight, it's going to suck. All right, transition of road. Barely could see it because of the shade, but you see how the road's more of like an orange and brownish. This right here gets a lot of snow. You see the damage to the road right there? So this area gets snow, which damages the road. Okay, so knowing that, I know that there's gonna be certain parts of the road where it's gonna have a slight little dip, slight little elevation, possibly some tar snakes. So like right here, it's damaged. That's like the road underneath. Like this brown stuff is like a top coat, and it lost part of its top coat because of the snow and all that stuff. So I'm really watching out. We got pine cones. They could roll off into here, and who knows, a big enough pine cone can act like a rock and knock you off. All right, so we got this guy pulling over, so I'm gonna go ahead and accept that. I'm just gonna speed up so I can get him back on the road. Then I'm gonna slow it back down so I can maintain a space cushion. This guy is hauling butt. All right, so we got a lot of shaded areas now. It's also getting cooler. It's 76 degrees. I started this video, part one, down at the base, and it was 90. So it's 76 degrees. It's a drop of 14 degrees. That could play a huge role, like I said in part one, if you haven't seen it, is that you're gonna start getting cold. Cold fingers, less dexterity. Cold body, cold upper body, start shaking, especially on these turns. So wear a long sleeve or pack a long sleeve so that you can possibly go pull over and then put it on and then get back on the road. All right, so now we're gonna do this. We're gonna kind of focus on this. So you notice how there's a little bit of the paint has changed. The street underneath is starting to show through. That can really mess with you. All these different, the shade, not shade, it's hitting me in the eyes, hitting the ground, hitting me in the eyes. I'm also kind of keeping an eye on here. Body positioning, opening up the view, very good. Ooh, yeah, it's a little bit colder. All right, so this was where we had the DDFM camp out back in April, Rose Canyon Lake. Might do it again in next May, possibly. So stay tuned for that. All right, so this guy's gonna let me through. Now that could give you an opportunity. Hey, I'm gonna go speed. Nope, I'm just gonna go the speed limit. He's probably just pulling over because he feels like it. He just doesn't like somebody behind him. Yeah, he's got back in line. He feels anxious when somebody's behind him. So you could do the same. You could easily pull over and let somebody else get in front of you, and then hop back on the road. It's not a big deal. I'm not pulling off because I don't care if this person's behind me, because I'm riding my own ride. But I know I'm different than some people, so if you want to pull over, pull over. I'm going the speed limit. That's the biggest deal. I don't care what he's doing. I'm doing the speed limit. All right, so we got some more. So snow plow ahead. So once again, now we're going into more of a snowy and cold area. I doubt there's a snow plow because I think the lowest it's gotten in the past few weeks is like 60 degrees. All right, so now we got a blind turn coming up ahead. We also have this nice vista on the other side. Now think about that. The other cars could be looking at that vista and creeping in my lane. So I'm actually going to keep it in the middle. I'm in middle this whole time. Nice and easy. There's no reason to go outside, inside, outside on these turns. There's no perfect... Ah, look at you, fool. He was off in my lane. Woo! Got a little pucker factor on that one. Oh, heart rate went up a little bit. But I was already prepared. I was in the middle. I wasn't in this lane. I know you guys probably can't, you could barely see. Hopefully I could zoom in on that. Because man, he was in my lane. He had a full tire into my lane, both tires into my lane, and then he had at least like 2 feet, like further. All right, so we got a large vehicle up ahead. This vehicle is going to go probably a lot slower, so I'm going to slow down just a little bit because I started catching up to him. That guy right there with the trailer. Now, hopefully he's going to be pulling off in an area, but if he goes to the very tippity top, then I will have to deal with him when the time comes. All right, so the shade is going crazy on my eyeballs, so I'm kind of paying attention to the road once again. Focus on the lines, stay within the lines, and you should be good. All right, so you notice how I started creeping up on this guy. I kind of got closer. I'm gonna actually not pressure him because these pullouts are designed for smaller vehicles, and this guy's got a massive vehicle. Also, he can't see me. Right now he can because we're on a turn in his right mirror if he checks the right mirror. But if he never checks that right mirror, he's never gonna see me. So right now he can't see me. So I'm gonna slow down. And the way I say that is because I can't see his mirrors. So since I can't see his mirrors, he can't see me. So I'm gonna slow down so that he can see me in his mirrors. All right. So we're going the speed limit roughly, a little bit under, not a big deal. So I'm not too upset by this. But this gives you a good idea of what you can do. I'm doing a lot of stuff with one hand because it doesn't take a lot of counter steering. But now look at this. It's starting to creep up. Mile marker 19. I mentioned that in previous video. Episode 1 is that kind of know where your mile markers are. So if you do get in a crash, you know kind of where you're at. Hey, I crashed mile marker 19 or a little bit past mile marker 19 and I need some help. If you have service, or you can send somebody, hey, I'm at mile marker 19, can you go down some service and call help? So it's good to know. Incinerator Ridge Road, so it's good to know the roads. All right, so we're getting a little bit too close right now again. We're going 30, where he's starting to slow down just a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and downshift. There we go. All right, so he's gonna give me a nice spot. So once he's fully out of the road, there we go, I can go ahead and pass him. Now remember, sometimes people, when they pull out, they pull out and then they like barely slow down and then they pull back in. It's kind of like you just got to pass them during that moment. Those people are idiots. If you're going to be doing anything like that, pull over and then accelerate from a stop to merge back with traffic. The people that pull over, slow down like a little bit and then accelerate back in, they will push you out, and be very aware of that when you're passing somebody on a motorcycle. So that's why I accelerated once I saw that he's pulling all the way out. I accelerated to get out of there just in case he kept going. To get back in line. Some people do that. So watch out for that. All right, so we got, see how the road's all messed up a little bit right here. So we're gonna do middle still, because I want to stay away from this lane, and I also want to stay away from any debris. But once again, if you see any type of like potholes or any damage to the road, it's a good idea to kind of avoid those. In fact, let me put on traction control. I like to keep traction control on my bike. I'm in sport mode though, so there's no wheelie mitigation. So a little bit of body positioning. Nice little ride. Okay, we got a little area right here. Yeah. If you notice that between episode 1 and this is episode 2, part 2. Episode 1, we had a lot of hazards when it came to vehicles. Vehicles were the big hazards. If you notice that there's not a lot of vehicles. There's only vehicles behind me, in front of me, and then possibly coming down this way. There's not really a lot of traffic going, there's not a lot of intersections, and depending on the day, there's not a lot of traffic. Like right now, there's not a lot of traffic. The main concern here, when you go up into the mountain, is these roads are curvy, they are hard to see, the visibility, you gotta watch for ice, you gotta watch for damage to the road. So it's really the road hazards, the speed, and pretty much it, the curves, countersteering. So all the little techniques right here. So right now we're going downhill a little bit, and that's another thing is that you could be going uphill, 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 uphill. We've been doing uphill like crazy a lot. Okay, now it's switched to downhill. Ooh, that road is messed up. All right, the road changed again. This road is really torn up. So I'm just kind of rolling off the throttle to slow down. You see how it's slowing down? That's all you have to do. The engine will brake for you, and then you can start accelerating again. So if you feel uncomfortable, just roll off the throttle. And I'm getting my hand off the throttle for exaggeration. Do not release your hand. Mile 21. But you can roll off the throttle and you'll lose a lot of speed, even going downhill. So I was getting a lot of questions about downhill stuff, and we're gonna be going downhill in episode 3, so that way you can see some unique hazards. Are you still recording? All right, good. All right, so we're still kind of going downhill, but once again, see how we're picking up speed because we're going downhill? I'm just gonna go ahead and roll off the throttle, maintain my speed at the speed limit. I feel more comfortable at that point. So constantly looking up, looking down, looking up, looking down is very good. So you can kind of get a feel, though. This is one way to do it without having to look. You get a feel like, man, I feel like I'm going faster. Oh, yeah, I am. So I'm gonna roll off the throttle. There you go. That's what I mean by looking up, looking down. So elevation 8,000 feet. Okay. It means we're going down now, but it's cold, cold, cold. It is 68 degrees now instead of 76. Okay, so it's getting a little bit cooler. I can feel a little bit more chilly in my mesh jacket. Still watching for animals, watching at the road. I'm looking at the road now, looking at the exit, looking at the road, looking at the exit, look at the road, look at the exit. There's a pothole. Looking at the road, looking at the exit. So since I'm looking at the exit's constantly shifting around the mountain, right? So if I'm looking at the ground where the exit is currently, and it constantly keeps getting pushed, push, push, push around this corner, I'm also making sure that there's no debris. It's not necessarily looking for like, where's my best line, like in terms of speed. I'm looking for my best line in terms of safety. So I'm looking at the exit right there, and it's constantly shifting, but I can see where the best portion of the line is. Now I started speeding up just a little bit, so what I did is I kind of just rolled out the throttle during the turn, and it kind of slowed me down instead of applying the brakes or pulling in the clutch. Because I don't want to apply the brakes, because that'd be bad in a turn, right? Especially if I really just slam the brakes. So what I do is I kind of roll off the throttle and just maintain my turn, and then slowly add throttle if I feel like I'm going too slow. All right, change of road conditions. Okay, so this is entirely different road. All right, so I picked up a little too much speed, so I'm rolling off the throttle once again. Now I'm getting the throttle once again, and now I'm increasing. So we were going downhill, now we're gonna go uphill, so I'm gonna use the downhill gravity inertias to keep my speed up. So I'm increasing my speed just a little bit so that it's a little bit less work on my bike, so I can maintain my speed a little bit better. And so now I'm moving up, up, up. All right, so now we got a lot of trees, and this is actually like the beautiful area of Mount Lemmon. This is where a lot of people go, so that should click into my head, hey, if this is where a lot of people go and they turn off on these roads, these vista points, then I need to be paying attention to possibly people coming out. So now it turns into, okay, now it's more of a congested area. Okay, so the Aspa Vista Point, I gotta watch out for people coming out. It's Friday morning. Hopefully everybody's at work, so I'm not having to deal with all this stuff. But if I did, that's happening. So a picnic area, a lot of families, a lot of things. There's people that bring food, so there's possibly animals here. So I start thinking about all these different things. And I know an animal and the children running out on the road on the mountain is quite rare, but it's in the back of my mind. I'd rather be prepared for it and just kind of enjoy the ride. I'm looking at everything. So I'm looking at everything. I love the view. I'm having a great time. There's a freaking hawk or a buzzard on the top of that tree. It's beautiful nature. But these areas, you got to watch out. You got to watch out. Just got to have it in the back of your mind that there could be something. What can it be? Why is it a greater chance of it happening here versus down there. Well, look at this. We've got more intersections. All right, so there's usually a cop right here. So I was going, okay, I'm going 40. No, the guy behind me's going 40. I'm going 38. All right. There, cruise control. Don't recommend doing this on a hill. But I'm having a lot of fun. All right, so we got this person right here. I don't know what this person's gonna do. They quite possibly will be turning it here. Don't know what they're doing. So kind of keeping an eye out for that. So we got multiple intersections right here. All right, very good. Got to really watch out for see how it's changing the vision. Stay between the two lines. Watch out, I went a little too fast. I felt like I was going too fast, so I just rolled out the throttle and it automatically slows me down. We're in a good position. All right, so we got a control road, Oracle Ridge, trailhead coming up. I like that spot for views, beautiful spot. But remember, if I want to turn around, I got to make sure I'm in a good spot to have visibility. So I'm actually going to wait. There's a control road, there's a fire station. I'm actually going to pull off over here and hang out. So I'm going to use my indication. I don't know what this guy's doing. If he's following me, I don't like it. I don't want him to. All right, let's go over here. So this is the control road. Fire station. So watch out for debris also. There's a lot of debris. Not suitable for passenger cars up ahead. Oh, this is where that dude came from. Ooh, that looks like fun. All right, so parking. I like to be aiming uphill and as flat as possible. So I'm actually gonna pull off here and I'm gonna shut it off while in gear, because in gear it's not gonna move. It's not gonna move down. Put my side stand. I'm gonna keep an eye on my side stand because of the dirt. I don't want it going in, but it's pretty rough and pretty hard. All right, so that is Raw Part 2, Episode 2. Hopefully you learned something. Let me know what areas you want me to ride in. Once again, do you want me to ride in the dark? You want me to ride in the rain? You want me to ride on gravel? I could probably go down that road with this baby. Let me know what it is. Now, I could do some roads that transition from road to gravel, gravel to road, all these different things, because I know some of you have driveways or roads that you have to go on that are dirt and gravel. So let me know. These videos can be long, they can be short. Tell me where I can cut it. Tell me where I can leave out some stuff. But this is raw DDFM. I'll see you guys around.